The Tibetan antelope or chiru is a medium-sized bovid native to the Tibetan plateau. Fewer than 75,000 individuals are left in the wild. In recent years, they have become endangered due to poaching. They are hunted for their soft and warm wool, which is usually obtained after death. This wool is known as shatish and is used to weave shawls. At present, international trade in the products is strictly prohibited. Classification. The Tibetan antelope is the sole species in the genus Pantholops, named from the Greek for all antelope. It was formerly classified in the Antelope subfamily, but morphological and molecular evidence led to it being placed in its own subfamily, Pantholopini, closely allied to oat antelopes of the subfamily Caprini. However, this has been disputed, and some authors consider the Tibetan antelope to be a true member of the Caprini. Although the genus Pantholops is currently monotypic, a fossil species, Hundigensis, is known from the Pleistocene of Tibet. It was slightly smaller than the living species, with a narrower skull. In addition, the fossil genus Curlicnoria, from the Miocene of China, is thought to be an early member of the Pantholopini, which diverged from the goat antelopes around this time. Description. The Tibetan antelope is a medium-sized antelope, with a shoulder height of about 83 cm in males, and 74 cm in females. Males are significantly larger than females, weighing about 39 kg, compared with 26 kg, and can also be readily distinguished by the presence of horns and by black stripes on the legs, both of which the females lack. The coat is pale fawn to reddish-brown, with a whitish belly, and is particularly thick and woolly. The face is almost black in color, with prominent nasal swellings that have a paler color in males. In general, the coloration of males becomes more intense during the annual rut, with the coat becoming much paler, almost white, contrasting with the darker patterns on the face and legs. The males have long, curved back horns that typically measure 54 to 60 cm in length. The horns are slender, with ring-like ridges on their lower portions and smooth pointed tips. Although the horns are relatively uniform in length, there is some variation in their exact shape, so the distance between the tips can be quite variable, ranging from 19 to 46 cm. Unlike caprines, the horns do not grow throughout life. Their ears are short and pointed, and the tail is also relatively short, at around 13 cm in length. The fur of Tibetan antelopes is distinctive, and consists of long guard hairs and a silky undercoat of shorter fibers. The individual guard hairs are thicker than those of other goats, with unusually thin walls, and have a unique pattern of carticular scales, said to resemble the shape of a benzene ring. Distribution and habitat. Endemic to the Tibetan plateau, the Tibetan antelope inhabits open alpine and cold steppe environments between 3,250 and 5,500 meters elevation. They prefer flat, open terrain, with sparse vegetation cover. They are found almost entirely in China, where they inhabit Tibet, southern Xinjiang, and western Qinghai. A few are also found across the border in Ladakh, India. Today, the majority are found within the Changtang Nature Reserve of northern Tibet. The first specimens to be described, in 1826, were from Nepal. The species has apparently since been extirpated from the region. No subspecies are recognized. Behavior. Tibetan antelope feed on forbs, grasses, and sedges, often digging through the snow to obtain food in winter. Their natural predators include wolves, lynx, and snow leopards, and red foxes are known to prey on young calves. Tibetan antelope are gregarious, sometimes congregating in herds hundreds strong when moving between summer and winter pastures. Although they are more usually found in much smaller groups, with no more than 20 individuals. The females migrate up to 300 kilometers yearly to calving grounds in the summer, where they usually give birth to a single calf, and rejoin the males at the wintering grounds in late autumn. Reproduction. The rutting season lasts from November to December. Males form harems of up to 12 females, although 1 to 4 is more common, and drive off other males primarily by making displays or chasing them with head down, rather than sparring directly with their horns. Courtship and mating are both brief, without most of the behavior typically seen in other antelope species. Although males do commonly skim the thighs of females with a kick of their forelegs, mothers give birth to a single calf in June or July, after a gestation period of about 6 months. The calves are precocial, being able to stand within 15 minutes of birth. They are fully grown within 15 months, and reach sexual maturity during their 2nd or 3rd year. Although females may remain with their mothers until they themselves give birth, males leave within 12 months, by which time their horns are beginning to grow. Males determine status by their relative horn length, with the maximum length being achieved at around 3.5 years of age. Although the lifespan of Tibetan antelopes is not known with certainty, since so few have been kept in captivity, it is probably around 10 years. Conservation. Tibetan antelope are listed as endangered by the World Conservation Union and the United States Fish and Wildlife Service due to commercial poaching for their underwool, competition with local domesticated herds, and the development of their rangeland for gold mining. The chiru's wool, known as chartouche, is warm, soft and fine. Although the wool can be obtained without killing the animal, poachers simply kill the chiru before taking the wool. Their numbers have dropped accordingly from nearly 1 million at the turn of the 20th century, to less than 75,000 today. The numbers continue to drop yearly. The struggle to stop illegal antelope hunting was portrayed in the 2004 film, Kekexilla, Mountain Patrol. To develop testing for chartouche, a Hong Kong chemist and a senior forensic specialist looked at the material under a microscope. Using this method, they discovered chartouche contains coarse guard hairs unique to the species. By doing this, the duo had found a convenient way to prove this was poached material. In July 2006, the Chinese government inaugurated a new railway that bisects the chiru's feeding grounds on its way to Lhasa, the Tibetan capital. In an effort to avoid harm to the animal, 33 special animal migration passages have been built beneath the railway. However, the railway will bring many more people, including potential poachers, closer to the chiru's breeding grounds and habitat. On February 22, 2008, the Wall Street Journal Online reported China's state-run news agency, Xinhua, issued a public apology for publishing a doctored photograph of Tibetan antelope running near the Qinghai-Tibet Railway. Lu Weiqing, a 41-year-old photographer, was identified as the author of the work. He had reportedly camped on the Tibetan plateau since March 2007, as part of a series by the Daking Evening News, to raise awareness regarding the Tibetan bovid. He was also under contract to provide images to Xinhua. He has since resigned from Daking Evening News. Despite the impression given by the faked photo, the antelope are getting used to the Qinghai-Tibet Railway. According to a letter to Nature on April 17, 2008, from researchers of the Chinese Academy of Sciences. In the Karakoram regions of Pakistan-administered Kashmir, it is listed as an endangered species.